Okay. We're trying to find the missing reasons for statement 3 and statement 4. And we have two things that are given. They give it to us, they list it here in statement 1. And what do they tell us? They tell us that angle Q is congruent to angle T. Let's mark it. And that QR is congruent to TR. Okay. Now, they also, then for step 2, they say vertical angles are congruent. PRQ is congruent to SRT through vertical angles. Now, step 3, they say, therefore, we can state that these two triangles are congruent. How do they do that? They do that with angle, side, angle congruence. So angle, side, angle congruence is going to be what they're identifying it as. So it's not going to be B or C. And then how do we know that PR is congruent to SR? PR is congruent to SR. Once we know the triangles are congruent, we know that, we know that corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So which one does that say? Well, A says substitution as the reason for number 4. And that doesn't actually, if you know about substitution, you would know that there's nothing that you're substituting in there. That doesn't actually make any sense as a thing. But corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, and we've, in the step before, proved they are congruent. So therefore, we can talk about all of the individual parts. So angle, side, angle, and then corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent.